Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Super Casters, the only podcast where two yahoos believe that they are arrogant enough to be able to fix Star Fox and save F-Zero. Seriously, what do these people think that they can really do? Just talk about things on the internet and all of a sudden these series are going to be magically be fixed? Come the hell on. Get real, guys. Wait. That's
Put
us.
Pigma in Smash and F-Zero.
Well, there is a precedent for Star Fox characters being in an F-Zero, and we discussed this recently, haven't we?
Yeah, we discussed
Last
Pigma
episode?
too, very specifically. Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
good
You know,
times.
I mean, F-Zero has two Star Fox characters in it, or, well, arguably two. Definitely one. The second one's a little bit more arguable. But
Mm-hmm.
it could certainly happen. But anyways, what's we're called? Supercast Brothers? We got Zantok, me, we got Jonno, him, and it's a non-topic, and we decided to talk about F-Zero today because, well, nobody else is. So, why not? Right? Nintendo ain't gonna do it. You know the
Nope.
things that they've done with F-Zero in the last, well, since GX on the GameCube? Porting everything except for X and GX to virtual consoles. That's what they've done. The Game Boy Advance games were all put on the Wii Virtual Console. What the fuck? But
Yep.
the GameCube game, you know, the last major release, crickets, crickets.
Never re-released ever.
And it's at this point. Would you say that F-Zero or Earthbound is the dead Nintendo franchise that gets the most buzz from fans about wanting it to come back?
I would say probably Earthbound because of Mother 3. Just getting a Mother 3 port would be enough for us right now. But if we're not talking Mother 3 and we're talking Mother 4, then I think F-Zero is maybe a smidge above.
Yeah, I think like F-Zero fans would also just be like, you know, you could put GX, remaster it, possibly from the ground up, put it on Switch like they've done with other games. I think that'd go a long way for F-Zero fans as well. But in general,
I agree.
give us the next F-Zero game.
Yep.
But
I don't know what it is. There's been buzz that, F-Zero GX and AX have not been ported because, it's Sega developed it and there's some red tape there. Or, Miyamoto supposedly said something about how F-Zero GX was antithetical to the development of Nintendo's, general beliefs about gaming because it was so difficult.
They'd make it easier.
Yeah. And I agree. I mean, GX was a very hard game, but that kind of comes with the territory of an arcade racer, and the people that enjoy that kind of thing liked it.
It's funny because Sakurai recently did his game theory, his game. I can't remember what he calls the category, but he talked about Meteos recently on his channel, the game that he made after Kirby Air Ride, and he mentioned how like there was a late in development change made to something in the core system, something that I forget exactly what it was, but it ended up having an effect across the whole game and screwing up balancing so bad that the game ended up being much more difficult than intended. And it's his biggest regret with the games that they didn't get to fix that.
That was interesting seeing his Meteos retrospective. And in that regard, because I remember playing Meteos as a kid and thinking the same thing. I was like, I don't want to play this because it's too difficult. It's like, oh my god, like what is happening? It's already bad enough at puzzle games.
Yeah, I want to try it. Like maybe just do one stream of it just to like see what it's like. But yeah, I've also thought about the time too. It's like, what if the little alien creature was playable in Smash? Now I've tried to envision like a little bit of a moveset for it, but it's like it's really hard to make a moveset for these puzzle block falling characters. Puzzle games are not easy to make movesets for. They're not easy.
No, they're not. They're not. The closest we may get ever is maybe like Early Nagia, since people are really into that.
Or Lip.
I could see. Yeah.
So something Puyo Puyo. Which apparently Sakurai sucks at.
I think I'm pretty good at Puyo Puyo. I'd like to play Sakurai at that game.
I remember being decent at Tetris Attack back in the day. Or at the very least, I was better than my grandma. Whether that's saying much for something, I don't know. But
it says enough. Another Yoshi's Island theme game too. It's pretty cool. technically speaking, in the States anyway.
And I mean, and there were Kirby and Sonic games that were just Puyo Puyo reskin. So
Yeah, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine and Kirby's
great
Avalanche.
name for a game, by the way.
Mhm,
Great name
mhm,
for a game.
mhm.
I can't believe they used that for a coffee shop in the second Sonic movie. Like that is beautiful. That is so beautiful. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. F-Zero was one of those titles as well, where it almost seemed like there's a renaissance period back in the early 2000s where every video game seemed to be getting adapted into a TV show by 4Kids or something, with the F-Zero anime. Captain Falcon died in that.
Yep.
Good times.
That's where we get Falcon Punch. Well, we didn't get Falcon. They took Falcon Punch for that. And then everybody thought that that's what his final smash would be. It's like the Super Falcon Punch. It's like, well, would have been cool, but nope.
Nope.
I
think what we
mean,
got is
he didn't want
cool
he
too.
didn't want to kill Captain Falcon in the middle of the match. You know, it makes sense.
Imagine a self-destructing final smash. That would suck.
And then Rick Wheeler just appears in his place, like, yeah, I'm here for the rest of the fight now. Like, okay, what?
The nerfed, uncool version of Captain Falcon. All right.
Anyway, before we get too deep into F-Zero talk, because we'll get there, we got to check in a little bit, see how we're doing. What's going on with you? You playing anything new, or are you just dealing with bridal dresses?
No, I picked out my favorite dress already.
Aww.
It's an orange mauve combo with a brooch right in the center.
Wait a minute. I feel like I've seen that smart before.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
You took it from my closet!
I thought I was inspired by Samurai Goro, but you even better, even better. You caught me. I'll wear it in the next on topic. Just getting it tailored. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing games. I dabbled a little bit in the NSO Game Boy games, not a whole lot.
They revealed a lot of them. How many of them are actually on NSO right now? Because I assume it wasn't the whole ones that they showed in the Direct.
No, there's 6 GBA games and I think like 8 Game Boy Color games.
Okay, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
I kind of want to look up and see like which ones they are now, because the Direct didn't say which ones were coming immediately, which ones would come later. They were just like, yeah, here's like 50 fucking games. Get hype. You know, it's like okay. And I naively at the time was like, oh my god, they're giving us all these games right away. Of course they're not. Of course they're not. Why would you think that, you big dumb fucking idiot?
They gave us Alone in the Dark on the Game Boy Color, though. That was a random choice.
I don't even know what that is.
Pretty interesting with the way they set it up, though. Like, technically, it's rather impressive.
Let's see.
All right.
Which ones? Okay, so. Well, that's Game Boy Advance. It doesn't say Game Boy Color, though. What? Oh,
yeah,
that's where it is. Okay, so Game Boy Color, we got Alone in the Dark, which I don't know what that is. Game Watch Gallery 3, which is, for most people, it's probably just like a what? For me, that's actually a bit of a hell yeah. I played those games. I played the Game Watch Galleries. I liked them. Gargoyle's Quest, which is Firebrand's game. Kirby's original Kirby's Dream Land, nice. Link's Awakening Deluxe, which is so weird that you could now play 2 different Link's Awakenings on the Switch. Like, okay, why? Why buy the remake now, though?
Right.
Metroid 2, Super Mario Land 2. Note that the Super Mario Land 1 got ignored. Sorry, Daisy. Oh, original Tetris, which apparently is getting a movie. I didn't know that they were doing a movie about the origins of Tetris. That caught me off guard. Like, what?
When they had announced that movie, they didn't say much about it, so everybody was thinking it was going to be some crazy thing about the actual Tetris.
Like the Pac-Man movie. Yeah.
But instead, it's a biopic about Tetris's origin, so it could be interesting.
I'm always worried when things are like based on a true story, because that means you know that they embellish and they make up things. so it's not like the real story. But I'm actually interested in seeing it, and I'm
Yeah,
usually not for true story movies.
definitely,
Let's see,
definitely.
Warrior Lane 3, Yaku Man, isn't that got a okay? Yeah, that got a spirit in Ultimate,
Mm-hmm.
or was it a
Yeah, it's just
sticker
more
in
zone.
Brawl? Might be both.
Yeah.
All right, and then we know a few more. We just don't know where they're going to be out. Frog Fruit, the
Mm-hmm.
Bell Tolls, Kirby Tilt and Double, the Oracles games, the Pokemon trading card game. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Except, Yakuman and For the Frog are Japanese only. And Alone in the Dark was outside of Japan only. Interesting.
Weird. A shame about for Frog the Bell Tolls though.
Yeah, I mean, it never got localized in the beginning, so they aren't making
Mm-hmm.
a. It seems like unless it's something like Fire Emblem, the original Fire Emblem, they're not translating things for itself. And even then, for Fire Emblem, it was limited time only. It's like why,
Bizarre.
why?
Yeah, with the collector's
What's
box
with
that
limited
doesn't
time
actually have a
only
physical
digital
game.
content?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I get,
Mm-hmm.
limited release physical things. I get that. That makes sense. But limited release digital is stupid.
Agreed.
Let's see.
Agreed.
What are our Game Boy Advance ones? Kuruin, alright. Minish Cap Superstar Saga, hell yeah. Now give me Partners in Time. Please.
DS on the NSO. There you go.
No, Partners in Time was GBA. Wait, no, wait.
No, no, no.
Oh,
It was DS.
Damn. I'm still mad that they remastered, they remade Super Saga and Bowser's Day Story and they skipped Partners in Time. Like, god damn it. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's see, we got Mario Kart Super Circuit, Super Mario Brothers 3. Why? When it's... Okay. Isn't it already on NSO in its original version? I feel
Yeah.
like it is.
Yeah, it is.
What's the point of putting the Super Mario Advance 4 version on then? That's so weird.
I don't know.
Original WarioWare.
It's
Oh,
just,
look!
there's extra levels,
F-Zero Maximum Velocity is one of the ones they announced. Ha! Ha! Ha!
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
F-Zero Binding Blade, Roy's game, that's only going to be on the Japan side.
F-Zero Binding Blade. Holy cow.
Yeah,
Sign me up for that.
Binding Blade. And then Blazing Blade, Golden Sun, Kirby the Amazing Mirror, Metroid Fusion. It's really a good list. It's a very strong start.
Yeah.
And
I am, yeah.
people have pointed out that because like when they announced that Pokemon Stadium was coming, there was some little blurb of text about how it wasn't compatible with some other Pokemon thing, but that blurb text is now gone, which is making people say like, oh shit, Pokemon Gen 1 coming to NSO.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Make it happen, baby, and not just in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
And I'm pretty sure there were a lot more that they also revealed, but just not on the wiki page that I'm looking at. Like, I'm pretty sure Yoshi's Island was one of them, wasn't it?
Probably so.
I feel like it was. If
Get
it
in the
wasn't,
Mario Kart course regardless.
I mean, actually, wait, no, that's right. Yoshi's Island was all Super Nintendo, but they did like the Super Mario Advance 4 version of Mario 3. So there's one of those for Yoshi's Island.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they re-released Super Mario Bros. 3 on here because there's some e-reader levels and it's the All-Stars Lick of Paint. So it's a little different. It's just a strange choice.
Just release the All-Star version then.
Yeah, agreed. We got 3D All-Stars.
All-Stars was one of the games that I played on Super Nintendo back in the day. It was All-Stars, Yoshi's Island, Mario RPG, Street Fighter 2, Page Master, Lion King. Yeah, those were our games we had. Ugh, God.
Mufasa, man.
There was a Mickey Mouse game we had. Some good shit.
Yeah, totally. I am pretty hyped about this list as well. I only dabbled in Super Mario Land 2 a little bit, which is an excellent game. Super Mario Land 1 is okay. But Super Mario Land 2 is refining the formula, whereas the first one is just kind of the original with some weird shit thrown in. Yeah, and I'm excited for Wario Land 3, Link's Awakening. It's kind of interesting that's on there, considering they have a full-on remake release with the Switch. Uh,
I mean, it does have some different stuff to it,
hmm hmm
but I don't know if you can even
Yeah.
access that content without certain like I don't remember what like I thought there was. It's whatever Dompe's Shack replaced. It was like
Mm,
Color Dungeon or
probably so.
something. I don't know
hmm
what it
hmm
did, but I know Dompe's Shack
Um,
replaced something.
yeah. But generally, I'm very hyped for the Zelda games. Naturally, Minish Cap being on there is a huge asset. The Oracle game's going
Yeah.
to be great. Superstar Saga, hell yeah! I'm really excited to replay that. WarioWare, yeah. Kururin, I am very interested in trying. I probably won't play it very much after I try it the first time, knowing what it is.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I'm glad we got it.
Uh,
And Gargoyle's Quest,
the biggest,
underrated.
yeah, the biggest surprise of all of them, because like normally, of course, NSO is going to be primarily games that Nintendo made, because one, that's just easier to do rights for. But even
hmm
then, just like on the Super Nintendo ones, there's a Spike Chunsoft. Spike Chunsoft made Super Soccer. Didn't know that. What the fuck?
No,
There's
no.
several things from Bandai Namco. There's Sunsoft Games. Arc System Works has a game on NSO, the Japanese version at least. Oh no,
hmm
no, yeah, because they made Double Dragon. So that's on
Yeah,
both versions.
yeah.
Uh, but so far with the Game Boy ones, uh, I mean Tetris technically is Nintendo and Tetris Company. Alone in the Dark is THQ Nordic, and then all the Game Boy Advance ones are just straight up Nintendo.
hmm
But the big surprise of all of them, we're fucking getting Golden Sun. What? Holy shit!
Yes, please.
Shocker.
Yes, please. Yeah.
And of course, you know, what other game released on the Game Boy Advance?
Golden Sun 2?
Reggie, give us Mother
Oh, yeah.
3.
Yeah.
It's on Game Boy
I know you're no
Advance.
longer with Nintendo, but I mean, just come on.
Mother 3 is going to eventually be added to NSO, but it's going to be Japanese only. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. 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 That'll be the day.
Yeah.
You could technically play it. All you need to do is switch your account over to Japanese. Not that that's going to do much good
It's
if you
true.
don't know it.
Yeah. And there are English patches that you can download for emulation,
hmm
but
hmm
not that we approve of emulation around here.
No, only if you own an original Japanese copy of Mother 3, and then it's legal.
So
hmm
it's
hmm
arguable logic
Yep.
that we won't get
Uh,
into. But I haven't like I don't do much with NSO honestly because
hmm
the games I'm going to play I have alternate means of playing them. So why would I play them on NSO? But I'm glad that they are there. I'm glad that Nintendo is giving attention to some of these things.
hmm no, absolutely. Actually, I'm going to switch my account over to the Japanese eShop today and play some Yakuman.
Just make a second account that's set to Japanese because you can have
Yeah.
two different profiles on the Switch. One for you
Oh,
have like
that's
HP
true.
in different
That's true.
regions. So yeah, don't
That's
change
true.
yours.
That's true. Yeah. Black and white 8-bit mahjong is where it's at.
I mean, that's what you want.
Probably so.
I've just been playing Fire
Um,
Emblem though recently. For me, I'm nearly done
mhm.
with it. I've got all the units in the game, so I'm just like, all right, let's hit that support grind, and then once I have all the supports, like, all right, let's beat the game. I have all
Curious.
I have almost
Sorry.
all the sea level supports done. I have almost all of
Nice.
them.
Nice. Curious. How many chapters are there? And if you're not interested in being spoiled on chapter count, you can just skip forward like 20 seconds.
Let me check because I don't know offhand.
Okay.
Let me see. All right, if you don't want to have spoilers on how many chapters and paralogs are in Fire Emblem Engage, skip ahead now. Just go about 30 seconds probably.
hmm
Okay, I'm going to assume that they skipped at this point. There are 26 chapters. I have completed up to chapter 22 so far, and there are 15 paralogs.
Got it.
And then
Got
we
it.
know that there's the extra divine paralogs we're going to get for each of the DLC emblems, and then they said that
hmm
the fourth DLC wave is going to give us the Fell Xenologue. But yeah, that's how much we got in the game.
Got it. So I'm roughly 1/2 to 2/3 through with the game, depending on how you look at it. Interesting. Okay.
You're definitely past the halfway point.
Okay.
For
Cool.
the chapter that you previously told me you were on, you're a little under 2/3. A little under
away.
2/3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. We will get there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're both playing right now.
It's like overall, my general impression of the gameplay is fine. There's some mechanics I don't like. Then there's some mechanics that I like a lot. As far as the story is concerned and the characters, well, there's more important characters in the story than there were in Awakening, so that's a plus. But less than in Three Houses. Like in Three Houses, even like your minor house characters, they felt like they were they weren't necessarily important, but they felt like they were involved. They were in the cutscenes. They were talking. They were interacting. And then in Awakening, it was just like, if your name isn't Crom, Lucina, Frederick, or Robin, or Flavia, or Basilio, then you were not in the game. This is how it was. Fates, I don't remember if it's the case, but I feel like it was probably similar to that. And then this game, that number is a little bit wider. It pretty much extends to the main character and then all the main royal from each nation, and plus Vander. Those are the characters that actually appear in cutscenes. But then everybody else just like, hey, it was nice meeting you for a chapter. I'll never see you in a cutscene ever again.
Yep. Yeah, pretty one and done with a lot of the characters.
Yeah.
Some of whom are hit or miss, pretty in terms of personality and design.
Yeah.
There's some
great ones. So like, I like Fogato. Fogato's a lot of fun.
He is great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of freaking Diamond as well.
Oh yeah. Yunako's pretty fun. Who else are some of the other standouts?
Who's the guy that calls his horse Horsey?
What?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like that's Amber? That sounds like something Amber would do. Is it the guy that's obsessed with alpacas? Yeah, Alpaca Boy. The only thing anybody is ever going to remember about this character is that he just loves alpacas. I think every support I've seen with his is somehow about alpacas. It's like, what? What is... Somebody had fun with the local... I don't know what that feels like if alpacas in the Japanese version, but somebody had fun. Somebody on the design team or the localization, whichever one it was, somebody really likes alpacas. And they're just like, this is how I'm going to channel. I'm going to have one character dedicated to my love for alpacas. It's like, hey, you know what? Fine. Whatever. It's just a little odd. But, like, I like some of the characters. Lapis is another favorite for me so far. A couple characters I can't talk about because they would be more in the spoiler territory. But it's been enjoyable. The story has been kind of mixed for me. There's a lot of predictableness to it, and there's a lot of chapters just like kind of droll, whatever. But there have been a few chapters that have been really fucking good. Yeah, it's just a shame that the rest of the game, like the really good fucking chapters, are like way up here, but the rest of the game kind of averaged out to being about down to here. It's like that's a real goddamn shame. Because those amazing chapters are amazing. But then the rest of them...
Yeah, it's like, Yep. Maybe, like, most of the game middles around maybe like a 6 to 8 out of 10 on the gameplay scale. But
then those amazing chapters are like a 9 or a 10. It's like, whoo, we're going there? Oh my god, holy shit, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Bad.
I'd say for recent Fire Emblem, everything is above average, to where I'd say it's definitely better than Awakening and Fates. But it's not as strong as Three Houses.
The comparison I will say to I think Awakening's story overall is stronger, but what hurts Awakening's story is the Valm section of the game. or whatever that country is
Mhm.
called. Was it Valm or was it something else? Walhart's
I think.
section of the game.
Hmm.
Because it just comes out of nowhere, and then it's like 4 or 5 chapters long, cuts into the middle of all the action, and then once you beat Walhart, it's like, all right, and back to the main plot. This game doesn't do that, thankfully. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
strict line to the plot, which I really appreciated over Awakening.
Hmm.
Awakening's plot overall, though, I think is better.
I agree. Uh, Partially because Engage feels like a retreading of many places
In
where Awakening already
so
got us.
many ways. In so many ways that,
Hmm.
like, I was playing through, and just like, okay, we either one of two things happening here. One, they're just replaying a lot of things from Awakening, or two, Awakening is just a stock standard. Everything that's ever happened in Fire Emblem happens in Awakening too. I don't know which one
Hmm.
it is,
Hmm.
but because either Awakening is generic as fuck, or Engage is very much in ways Awakening too.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's like,
Kind of sort of
what?
both. I mean, there's tropes that span the entire series, like dragons, being possessed by a dragon, fighting a dragon. All very typical.
Can we get a
Um,
game where it's not just Evil Dragon as the final boss?
hmm.
Oh
Hmm.
wait, we did have that. It was called Three Houses, where the
Yep.
final boss in Three Routes is Demon Edelgard. Can we get a Fire Emblem game where the final boss? Oh no, there's also Sacred Stones. Can we get a Fire Emblem game where the final boss isn't a dragon or a demon, and it wasn't just I was controlling the main bad guy the whole time, ha ha. Like, can we get something else? Can we get an
That was
evil
Path of Ra-
whale?
Just like Skyward Sword.
It's fair. Radiant Dawn, it's an actual god. That's fair.
Yep.
That's a fair point.
Yep. Radiant Dawn's a god. Path of Radiance is a guy riding a dragon. It's not a dragon.
That's true, but wasn't he going crazy or something?
He was. He
I just
was
don't know
the
like what
mad.
the source of his madness was.
I am trying to recall. It's been so long. He. He. There is something that happened to him, and I'm not recalling what.
Hmm.
Because whoever he is the final boss of the game. Like
Yeah.
whatever corrupted him is not at the forefront of the
Was it
game.
Leyren's medallion?
Yep. Yep. Yeah,
Makes
wearing
sense.
that made him go crazy. Yeah, so at least it's a thing. It's not like some looming demonic force.
It's true. It's just the
Yeah,
corrupted
so
god force.
yeah. So the Radiant games did well, Sacred Stones did well to break the curse as well. Most of the game though you're fighting dragons.
Yeah.
Most of the series rather.
All right.
At least you
Well,
get double Takumi in one of them.
all right. I think that's enough Fire Emblem talk.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't
A
here for that.
non-coastal BNX
We're here to
hero.
we need a different F to talk about here.
Mm-hmm.
F0 to be
Oh.
specific.
Oh.
So let's take a look at the series here, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
You got F0 on the SNES. Very simple game. You had 4 different characters. You had a decent amount of different courses, and your options were to either do Grand Prix or a practice mode, which is more or less time trial. Then we had F-Zero X on the N64. A lot more characters, a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more tracks, and we also now have the X Cup, which is basically just like randomly procedurally generated maps that you just play on. It's like interesting concept for an N64 game. And then Death Race, which is it's well, probably if you played arcade racers in the 90s where you sit in Walmart and you just put the quarter in, you've probably played Death Race because it was just like, hey, you're racing, there's other racers, you could knock them off the course and just eliminate them, which means F-Zero could do that. But the whole point of Death Race was to get rid of them all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In a way, it's I don't know if it was the first, but it was kind of like it was the first battle royale game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then F-Zero GX, the big one, the one that everybody always talks about. several more fighters. There's now fighters. There's now 40 different racers in GX. God fucking damn. And they added quite a few new modes. Like there's still, Grand Prix. There's versus battle, time trial. There's a story mode. You can do customization that I don't know like the full details of, but like, there's like the F-Zero shop where you can buy more characters. I think you can customize your ships to like change their stats, which is makes a lot of sense for a game like F-Zero. They did an arcade racer called AX. All right. And then there was like a trio of GBA games, which have survival mode, course editing, the story mode in there again, link battles, and then that's it. That's the last we ever saw of a new F-Zero game.
When was the last one released?
The last one released, I think, was Maximum Velocity. Let me double check here. Maximum Velocity came out in 2001. GP Legend actually was 2004.
That's sad.
Actually, technically,
yeah.
F-Zero Climax was also 2004. A little bit, literally a month after GP Legend, but it was Japanese only.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Weird. So F-Zero's been dead for effectively pretty much round up 20 years.
Yeah. Almost 20 years. It's crazy.
Wow. What? I didn't realize that coming
The only
into it.
signs of life that F-Zero has is Captain Falcon and Smash, a couple tracks in Mario Kart 8, and then the game getting ported a couple times over. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only signs of life the series has had since 2004.
Yep. But it wasn't GX getting ported over, which people actually care about. It's just like, erroneous virtual console releases.
Everything except for X and GX, and obviously AX, has been ported. All other F-Zeros.
We did get X on the Wii U and Wii Virtual Consoles, but not the Switch, unfortunately. That's actually my favorite game.
Yeah, that's right. It did.
Yeah, it's a little less crazy and sporadic than GX. So for a more casual racer gamer like me, it's easier, which is why I like it more. But those last two games were really good, and effectively GX capitalized on everything that made X a great game, and objectively made it by far the best game in the series, to the point where it's yet again like Metroid Prime, like Melee, like Luigi's Mansion, Thousand Year Door, a GameCube cult classic.
Yep, there was a lot of them. GameCube, as much shit as the GameCube got back in the day for being underpowered and whatnot, it was pretty good, and it had a lot of good games. The GameCube had fucking quality. Thousand Year Door, sir. Yu-Gi-Oh! The False-Bound Kingdom. That was my shit.
I didn't learn.
It's right there.
Like a year ago.
It's right there on my shelf, so I still got it.
Nice.
I've lost many games of the year, but that one I still have.
I didn't learn until recently that was critically panned, and I'm like, why?
I mean, I'm not strictly surprised, but it was very fun. I wanted to record it, do a Let's Play of it a couple years ago, but I don't have a way to like connect my GameCube to anything, so I had to rely on emulation, and somewhere was like, I want to say like the 7th or 8th mission into the game, the one where you recruit Taya, the mission where you recruit Taya, it just crashed consistently in that mission. It's like,
thanks, that sucks.
I can't do it. I really wanted to, because I was gonna play all 3 story modes of it, and I was even gonna do replays of them so I could get every monster, but
if your computer has a spare HDMI port, there are GameCube ports that you can buy online for like $50.
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, I've been looking to upscale my GameCube since I've tried to play Thousand Year Door again recently. I dug my GameCube up, and while it's totally playable, everything still works. So it looks really muddy. So
actually, I don't think I have my GameCube anymore. So I basically have to put it in the Wii. Wait, doesn't the Wii have an HDMI port?
It would be applicable to this cord that I found.
Okay, so this what's it called?
Adapter.
Adapter. Yes, that's the word. This adapter would work for that as well. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that then because I have the Genki that I used for console recording, so I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah. I'll find it.
Yeah, please do.
After
I
after
might
we're done
have to.
recording, I'll send it your way.
I'm going to see if
Yeah.
I still have a Wii memory card because I don't know if I still do. Wait, no, the Wii used SD cards, didn't it? Doesn't use memory card.
Yeah,
Okay,
it uses
that's
SD
fine.
cards.
I think I still have one in my Wii probably.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I can't believe it's been that long since F-Zero got a game. No,
Yeah.
I'm surprised the fanfare's kept on for this long. Again, it just shows the quality of the GameCube, as you said.
I mean, before the podcast, we were talking about like how voting has trended in the Fire Emblem Heroes Choose Your Legends event, and how in the third year of it, all the Lagoons and Animal Transformation characters got a huge boost in voting because after 2 years of the game, none of those types of characters were in the game yet, and then all of a sudden over the next year, a lot of them were being added in, and when we got to the fourth vote, they weren't being voted for anymore. It's because people are making a fuss because we haven't had F-Zero in so long. If they give us an F-Zero game, good or bad, the fanfare will die down. Unless the game is just like a critical, amazing, top tier fucking success, the fanfare will die down because the fans have been fed.
Yeah, and the fans haven't been fed in almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And when you take into account,
something.
like the GBA games aren't bad, but they're not like GX. So really, since whenever GX was released, so 20 some odd years ago, 23 years ago, whatever. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I have a copy of GX on my GameCube. I wanna pull that out.
I've actually only played a little bit of the NES one. I played it on NSL, and I had a bad time playing it. I sucked.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo game, like F-Zero, Super Mario Kart Super Circuit for that matter on the GBA, having that Mode 7 design was innovative for the time, but it's not really conducive to current standard of gameplay.
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's weird. Yeah, I never got very far on the original F-Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get out of the first Grand Prix.
I don't think I did either.
Yeah.
But that's where F-Zero was. And I hope that we get an F-Zero GX HD remake at some point. That's the most obvious place to take it.
Yeah. I mean, you can either go with an HD GX, although personally I think build it up from the ground up and just rebuild the game. So it's like the thing with remaster, when people want to remaster games, when you just do a graphical remaster, it's boring, it's lazy, and a lot of times it doesn't look good. Because when you are only upscaling the graphics, it don't look good. The Tales of Symphonia remaster, I don't think it looks good. I think the graphics are very bad. Because it's literally just an upscale. And I played the original Tales of Symphonia. Or no, did I play... No, I think I played the remaster. Yeah, I played the remaster. And it clashed. The art clashed badly.
That's why the console release just happened, and that's why it's getting panned or to mixed reception.
Yeah.
In new reviews.
And I hate to say it, but the Final Fantasy IX remaster on Steam, it has a similar problem. The characters, they upscaled their models, they cleaned them up, they look nice, but then the backgrounds that you're running around in, oh,
they're old school. They're 2D painterly like things.
And if you play it on PS1. Overall, it looks better because it all fits together and the backgrounds look amazing. But when you put the upscaled graphics of characters in front of the backgrounds, it makes the backgrounds look so much worse. And it's a goddamn travesty. So don't do
compared
that.
Compared to what we could have got, it was lazy. Yeah.
So it's like, like making GX port for Switch, it's a start. But what they need to do is make a whole new game. And I don't know what you call it. What you could call it is F-Zero DX. We got X, we got GX, we got AX, so why not DX for Deluxe? Why the
Yeah,
fuck not?
why not? It's like Super Mario Brothers Deluxe, man. Let's do it.
Isn't DX what they called Brawl in Japan? Or is it X? It might have just been X.
I think it's just X.
Or was
let me
Melee
look.
X and Brawl DX? Time to look it up. Yeah, Melee was Deluxe.
I think on the over, and then Brawl was X.
Yeah, and Brawl was X, and Smash 4 was still just 4, 3, and 3. That's just so dumb. And Ultimate was Special.
Yep.
Odd names in the Japanese versions to me personally. You go from DX to X. What? And then the weirdness that is Smash 4. And then Special. Like, okay. Alright.
Not as cool as Ultimate.
No. Apparently, Special has different connotation in the Japanese naming for games. But, yeah, I'm very glad that they changed it.
Yeah, and what is it on the overall? Daranto Maburuken. Okay.
Great Fray, Smash Brothers X, and Deluxe. Great Fray instead of Super.
Great. Yeah, okay. It's just interesting how dialects work.
Yeah.
Yeah. F-Zero GX. What's the Japanese name for that? F-Zero GX. Okay.
Yeah. Well, there is like another word that I'm seeing on here. Oh no, that means F-Zero. Never mind. I saw like F-Zero. I was like, oh wait, that's F-Zero. I get it.
That was pretty good. Yeah, I agree. I think it's the approach. Like if you want to appease Paper Mario fans, you release remade Thousand Year Door right away and go from there. It's the same idea. You can remake GX from the ground up, kind of like they did with the assets for Prime. Get in there, retain the core gameplay, maybe add in a couple new modes, online play, but ultimately it's the same core game with maybe a couple hours of new material.
Yeah.
And
there's some different options in the settings. Like you can switch, like for the Prime remake, you can switch between like the 2 sticks control. You can switch between motion controls, hybrid. It's like good change. Yeah. That's great.
Do it for F-Zero GX. Yeah. Have a mode where if you fly off a cliff and explode, you actually win, and then I could actually beat the Grand Prix.
I mean, same. All right, but we're starting to talk about new game, new modes, and the whole point of this episode is to talk about what we would do to what was our naming convention for the stuff? Was it fix? Was it save? Resurrect? How we would resurrect, fix, save F-Zero? What would we do? What's our pitch for a new game to be successful?
Yeah. Resurrect is a heavy word. I would say remaking F-Zero GX is a revival, but it doesn't quite have the existentialism as the term resurrection. It's not as big. So how do we go big? GX is happening. It's the appetizer, the hors d'oeuvre. It's a little chicken nugget in the wash of F-Zero-dom. Where do we go with a true sequel that brings F-Zero to the forefront?
One of the things you said was, how do you go big? And that's something Miyamoto has kind of touched on, where he's just like, he's mentioned before that like he doesn't know what you could do with the new F-Zero. Well, here's the thing. You don't always have to go big. You don't. Yeah. F-Zero is a pretty simple... When did Mario Kart? I wouldn't say that like they've twisted things up, but I wouldn't say they've ever like gone big. You know? GameCube had the double cart mechanicing. They just added motorcycles. and they took away double
Mm-hmm.
cart.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
definitely wasn't a big thing. Uh, what 7 or Wii U? Oh yeah, I guess it would have been 7 next because then Wii U was 8. 7 is like we're gonna add underwater is what they added, underwater sections, and then 8 added the anti gravity. Like okay, but I wouldn't call any of these like big things. Yeah, there's some twists
Yeah.
to how things work. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if F Zero needs those things. I don't necessarily think it needs underwater anti grav. I think F Zero could do anti grav. Sure,
Mm-hmm.
no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Do a Mobius strip track, kind of like what the Mario Stadium is in 8. But I think what you do with F Zero is you don't really change anything. You just double down. I think you double down. F Zero, part of it is about knocking your opponent off the tracks so there's less competition.
Mm-hmm.
Why not have a mode? I think you go with multiple modes. Kind of like how Kirby Air Ride is built on having 3 different modes with City Trial, normal racing, and then I can't remember what it's called, but like the top down kind. A
Mm-hmm.
top
Mm-hmm.
down kind of like an F Zero, kind of like that mode in Kirby could be kind of fun. But I think a
Yeah.
mode that you should
Yeah.
really focus on, mode that you really should have, is more or less a monster truck rally, a demolition derby, an F
Like,
Zero demolition derby. The
yeah.
whole point is to
Yeah.
destroy your opponent's F Zero machines.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That'd be a great smaller multiplayer mode that you could do with friends.
Why not?
You're bad at the racing? Rev up and ran into each other then. Get a whole
Mm-hmm.
mode for that. Why the fuck not?
Mm-hmm.
Mario Kart's got battle mode. Let
Yeah.
F Zero have
Yeah.
demolition
Yeah.
derby mode.
I kind of think of it maybe like Kirby Air Ride, where you're going around, you're collecting different
Yeah,
upgrades to your vehicle, and you can use those to destroy your opponents.
yeah.
Also, maybe you'll bring it into a garage, like Mario Party 5's car mode, where
You
the Star Spirits from Paper Mario help you create cars that you can bash into each other with for
in the
some
different
reason.
in the different modes you could get coins and whatnot, and you can use those coins to the shop to buy new parts for your F-Zero machine, kind of like what GX already has, and then you can use those
Hmm.
parts in the races or in the demolition derby mode or any other kind of mini modes that you could have. Like originally
Yeah.
one of the ideas I had was like, oh, you could do like a bounty hunter board type mission system, but I was just like, I also pitched that for Star Fox. I don't want to pitch that again. So I was just like, what other
Yeah.
ideas are there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Monster truck rally.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. Now,
This-
having bounties makes sense because I mean, if you have a story mode where you're playing as Captain Falcon, I don't know to what
Cap-
extent that would be out. Yeah,
I have thoughts for that too.
do you?
I have thoughts for that
Okay.
too.
Okay.
But like I think a demolition derby type mode is just like it's a natural idea. You're already trying to destroy other F Zero machines and knock them off the track. Take
Mhm.
that to its logical conclusion. Make that be the whole point of a mode. Take the racing, like have a racing mode, but then also have this destruction mode. You don't take the destruction out of the racing, but you do have a destruction only mode.
Yeah.
How many games?
Definitely.
How many big games are there that have a demolition derby type mode to them? Oh, none. None. Yeah, that's what I fucking thought.
The one that Sweet Tooth comes from. That's about it.
Okay, fair enough. Twisted Metal,
Mhm.
good
Mhm.
response to
Mhm.
that. How often do we get Twisted Metal games?
I don't even know when the last one came out. So I think it might have been on the Vita.
I think
So
it's
it's
more
been-
recent than that. I think there's more recent than that. Let's see. The most recent Twisted Metal, if I can find it. 2012 on the PS3.
No, holy cow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
And
11
there's like
years.
main series ones. Look at there are a couple other PS. Oh no, those are their canceled games. So yeah, the most recent game is 2012 on PS3. So yeah, it's been a while since
Weird.
Twisted Metal too.
Weird. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I really like the idea of a demolition derby. That would be very interesting. Of course, maybe you have one course that's kind of cheekily monster truck style with like a dirt arena.
Yeah.
But then most of them are going to be hyper futuristic. Maybe you can adapt areas like Mute City or Port Town into Like, say it's the Port Town Battle Arena,
Exactly.
and then you theme it around there, or it's the Casino Royale Battle Arena. You theme it around Casino Royale. That would be interesting. Maybe bring it, since it's Nintendo, they like to do their gimmicks. So maybe have a few of those courses. If it's Casino Royale, have a giant slot machine in the middle that deposits
Roulette wheel.
items
You
or
race.
whatever. Yeah,
You're doing
there
destruction
you
on a
go.
roulette wheel.
That would be awesome. That would be great.
And there's a giant roulette ball that comes like rolling around at different areas.
There's a Mario Kart battle map that was very similar to
Big
that.
wheel.
I don't remember what it was.
Or no, donut.
Donut wheel. That was fun. I like that course.
Yeah. And honestly, some of those Mario Kart battle arenas could be a good place to get some inspiration for that. I'm not saying, one for one rip anything except for maybe donut, because that just makes sense.
Yep.
But in general, I mean, general shapes, design elements, because that's what battle mode is in Mario Kart. It's essentially that kind of a mode, just more limited, I would say, because there's only like the 3 balloon mechanic, so it's only instead of like intentionally going for like put their vehicle out of commission, it's just like just hit them 3 times. But for F-Zero, you got to put the vehicle out of commission.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a health bar.
A more involved, intense version of Mario Kart's battle mode.
Yeah.
Essentially. And I could see maybe an F-Zero Standard even, like the standard races. Find a way to adapt a Mario Kart course into DLC. That would be entertaining.
Absolutely.
And they already have a Rainbow Road, but
absolutely
go a little deeper.
Wait, F-Zero has a Rainbow Road?
Yeah.
Not in GX.
Yeah, only an X. That's true. Okay. Yeah, bring a Rainbow Road to the procession then, and then maybe follow it up with something a little different. It could even be like a standard Mario circuit. I feel is like the way they'd go with it, but I want it to be a little more obviously Mushroom Kingdom. Do something with Princess Peach's Castle or something, and make it F-Zero just for the hell of it. Crossover with Star Fox. Course.
I'm trying to see if their Rainbow Road. Yeah, that's in 64 Rainbow Road. It's the same map design. Wait, it doesn't make any. Oh yeah. X is on next door. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but it's the same. Actually, is it the same? Or is it just? It looks like it's slightly different, but it could just be the images that I'm looking at. But it's borderline the exact same layout. So.
Yeah.
They also have a track that's literally just an outline of somebody's hand called Big Hand. It's like, really? All right. Somebody ran out of ideas?
Throw Master Hand in there. Crazy. Yep. Have them be stage obstacles. That would be terrifying.
But you gotta have a Grand Prix. You gotta have a time trial. That's just like a requirement for any racing game out there. Any good racing game out there.
Totally.
I actually think like X Cup from X is a really interesting idea. I don't know how well that would work on more modern consoles. With the whole procedurally generated fucking race courses. I feel like instead, the better way to just deal with that is just let people have kind of like a race track editor of some kind. It might be difficult, but if you can do that kind of thing in like fucking GTA 5, I think you can put it in F-Zero.
That's true. Yeah, the track editors that you have in F-Zero are fairly limited. You can widen or shorten roadways, move them around a little bit. It's nothing intensely contemporary though. Bring that up a little bit. Not saying.
Give us a track builder. Let us upload our tracks online and then download other people's tracks, kind of like what you can do with Mario Maker, and let people make their own Grand Prix from these user created tracks.
Absolutely.
And, obviously you're gonna have new tracks as well. You're gonna be, and I think they could even do something kind of like what Mario Kart has started doing since. I think Wii is when they first started doing it. Because up until that point in Mario Kart, every game just only had new tracks. Well, except for Super Circuit, I think, which had all the SNES tracks on it in addition to their new tracks. But then in Wii they started including a few retro tracks, and in 7 and 8 they also were updating those tracks to new standards with the new mechanics. They could do something with that with this year, like have like here's your all your brand new races, like here's your new, because like they do Mute City all the time, like so here's your new Mute City, but then they can also be like, and here's a remade Big Hand from F-Zero X, and it has like the exact same layout and everything, maybe some updated appearances to it, or fucking White Land 2
Bigfoot.
from the original F-Zero, or Silence.
Mm-hmm.
Could do something like that easily on top of having whatever your new tracks are. I don't know, like the new, like yeah, because F-Zero original had Mute City 1, 2, and 3 that all had different layouts. Although 2 and 3 are actually they're all three pretty similar, but they're still different layouts technically. Deathwind 1 and 2 are different, mostly kind of the same, but they were still those similarities. But then F-Zero X, you have a similar thing where it's like, okay, you have Big Blue and Big Blue 2, but they are vastly different in their design. White Land and White Land 2 look different. Red Canyon and Red Canyon 2. Silence and Silence 2. And it's they can have the same names as tracks in the first game, but they're still like completely different in their layouts. F-Zero GX, similar, like they had, there's your Mute City again, your Big Blue again, your Fire Field again, but they had different layouts. Port Town, Sand Ocean. So they could create, brand new layouts for these things again, but then also have a retro version of the old ones. Like, and here's what it looked like before.
Yeah, absolutely. That it would be pretty neat.
I think so. So we've got, obviously there's going to be new characters, going to be new tracks. We're going to have a story mode. We're going to have a time trial. We got our Monster Truck Rally mode, which I fucking love. We got an idea for a shop for customization, pretty much taking it straight out of GX. But then there's Grand Prix. How can we mix up Grand Prix a little? Well, I got something to pitch to you. First of all, Grand Prix is still the same, where you do 4 tracks. In GX, it was 5 for some reason. Don't like that. Bring it back down to 4. Oh, wait, whoa. It's 6 in X and 5 in regular F-Zero. Okay, so fine. It could be 5 tracks. Fuck it, whatever. That's weird to me, coming from a Mario Kart way of thinking, but sure. 5 tracks in each Grand Prix. And whenever you start each Grand Prix, you choose a character. Whether that's Samurai Goro, Pico, PJ, Phoenix, fucking Mighty Chain, Mystery AD, Beastman, Byrex, whoever the fuck you want to play as. Digiboy. You play through them.
Again.
And let's say there's 4 Grand Prix that you can go through. Let's just say there's 4. You beat the first Grand Prix as PJ. And when you start it off, you get like this little intro cutscene thing with PJ, kind of like seeing like getting a little bit of PJ story mode. And then after you beat the first Grand Prix, you get like episode 2 for PJ, continuing whatever PJ's story is. You beat the next Grand Prix. You get PJ story mode 3. You beat the next one and the next until you've beaten all the Grand Prix. And now you've seen all of PJ's story mode. And I would say, like in each character, you can have it even be like, okay, each character's story is all canon to the game. So if you want to see the full game story, you got to play each character. And if there's going to be like 50 fucking characters, well, I hope you're good at the game. Or just go to YouTube.
Yep.
And each character's story would conclude with like them winning the F-Zero Grand Prix, which obviously means technically only one of them could be the canon choice, unless you just say like, okay, everything is canon in their stories except that only one of them is the actual winner, but everything else that led up to those points was still happening for them, just not their their actual race wins or whatnot. Like they weren't the champion, but everything else more or less happened.
Right.
So you could have like Black Shadow's story where he's like doing villainous stuff. And maybe there's crossover with Deathborn's story or Captain Falcon's story. And Captain Falcon is, of course, the one that is considered canon in the end. And he's beating all these villains in his story. In
Hmm.
like maybe chapter 1 is him beating Blood Shadow, but then Blood Shadow encounters Captain Falcon in chapter 5 or something.
Yeah,
Why not?
it's a lot of interwoven threads that are a little convoluted and silly, but that's exactly what I'd expect from F Zero.
Yeah, and not
Um,
every character needs to be like tied into the big overall story. Like Dyson Gin, they could just be doing like their own awful thing. Like maybe they have a little bit of crossover with a couple characters, like Digiboy or in Daigoro or Billy.
mhm, mhm,
But then
mhm.
like then you have Lily Flyer and Kate Allen and Antonio Guster. Maybe they're all doing something else in their own little story.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Biorex, whose entire story is him finding just the right custard.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then QQQ has been malfunctioning, so him and Phoenix's story is about trying to get money so that they can get him repaired.
I can travel through time once again.
Super Arrow and Mrs. Arrow are doing their superhero bullshit.
That would be great.
Mr.
That would be
EAD
great.
is trying to make a video game.
That tracks. That
Yes.
tracks.
Yes. And
Mm-hmm.
it's called.
Mm-hmm.
What's the parody I want to go with here? It's called
Uh,
Moon Wolf.
okay.
And it ties in with James McCloud and Leon.
Okay. Let's make it
Fuck
happen.
yeah.
That's where Pigma comes in.
Octoman's story is that he's just becoming a commercial model.
Mm-hmm.
I love how you were just
Cross
like,
it.
and then halfway into that you realized what I had said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He crossed that into style savvy, and the savvy style is being playable in this game.
There's also a new racer, uh, Hako.
Okay. And he's a hawk? No, he's a guy with hawk hair.
And he knows
Excellent.
James McCloud.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Hako Giovanni. I don't know. You can't make it too obvious that it's Falco, okay? Okay? You can only go so far. Leon
Mm-hmm.
looks like he's supposed to be wolf. He's a wolf and he has like one eye that's scarred over, but he's called Leon for some reason. I don't know why he's called Leon, but he's wolf.
Leon Kowalski.
No,
Yes, it's
no.
yeah. Kind of give him a separate Star Wolf name, I guess. I have no idea.
Put Samus in the game.
There you go. Good old Shamus. Actually, that would work. That would work. Technically. Give her the F-Zero crossover that she never got with Star Fox. Remember when that was rumored?
Yeah. There were also rumors of Metroid crossing over with F-Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, wait, no, I'm
Mhm.
thinking of Star Fox Grand
Star
Prix.
Fox.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't worry. Nintendo would never treat Star Fox that well.
No, wait to let Ubisoft do it.
Starlink was an okay game.
I've heard it's the
gratuitous-
best Star Fox game since Star Fox 64.
That tracks. Although I did like Assault. I like
Yeah,
Assault.
I like
quite a
Assault. Assault was fun.
bit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I like that. I think a lot of folks, I scouring the internet, going on subreddits, whatever, before this show started, I find that a lot of people are saying, what would be really cool is if they went and had this very detailed, expansive overworld for the mainline story. You're playing as Captain Falcon, and it's like Cyberpunk, and you can go on bounty hunting missions with your F-Zero car. And I'm like, I think that would be cool for another game.
Yeah, I think it's too
But,
ambitious.
But for F-Zero's has its plot as an arcade racer.
Yeah, it'd be like if Street Fighter 6 had this whole overworld world where you can just like run around as your avatar character and experience the story. Wait. Oh, shit. I was so weirded out when they had that trailer. I was like, wait, why are we running around in a 3D world in Street Fighter? What the fuck? But at least
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter
Mm-hmm.
has it's been sticking around. They're trying to reinvent Street Fighter a bit there, but F Zero
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
needs to
Yeah.
come back. And
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't think going the cyberpunk way is the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe an additional F Zero game could try and go that route, but I think like some of the stuff I'm saying is could be considered to be a lot. But I think that's just like, all right, you're getting ambitious as fuck. You need to tone it down. Bring it
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
bring it down from the cyberpunk level to the Monster Truck Rally level.
Yep. Yep. I would be very content with that.
Yeah,
Bring it back to the Captain Falcon's Dream Buffet level. Yeah, F Zero, Captain Falcon's Dream Course Buffet. Where you have multiple F Zero racers on a giant anti-grav cake, and you roll around in your cars, shoveling as much cake up as possible. The more cake that you eat, the faster your vehicle will be, and the more buffed it'll be when you enter the actual race course.
sorry,
And
what?
with the added girth that the cake provides to your F-Zero racer, you are able to more effectively stick to and or throw other vehicles off of your path.
Are there piranha plants that the game calls strawberries?
One of the courses, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Glad we
Yep.
can get one more run of Peach's birthday cake in.
Not the worst course in Mario Party Superstars.
Nope.
That's for sure.
That's the Yoshi one.
Sorry, Yossi. We
I'm
really
not.
do like you. Good man. Unless you're crafted.
Yeah.
Imagine the crafted
I
F-Zero.
just don't like the felt looking texture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
They can take it if they wanted to do a campaign like that. Absolutely, you can. There's also I think a route that you can take is really lean into some of the old arcade racers. Even some of the old NASCAR games did this, where you're given a mission mode. I mean, Mario Kart DS did this. You're given a mission mode, and it could be kind of award centric. I'm forgetting achievement centric. Where you're being told, by the gossip mill says that Super Arrow wants you to knock Samurai Goro off of the track in this race because he made fun of his last movie.
Yeah. I mean, that could be.
You
You could do something like that with because we mentioned how you could earn coins or whatever for the little shop.
mm-hmm,
Maybe
mm-hmm.
each time you do a race, there's it's supposed to be like a randomized set of options. One of them could be like, finish a lap in under X seconds. Knocks Samurai Guru off the track. Get knocked off the track in less than 3 times. Totally. And then you get a little extra bonus money. It's all just fluff stuff. But could just be like a little extra thing. Because Nintendo, we waited this long for achievements. We're not going to get achievements at this point on a Nintendo console. It's just not happening at this point. And, it's debatable on the pros and cons of that, but whatever. We're not going to get into that to this. Maybe that'll be another episode topic that we can cover someday.
Yeah.
But sometimes some games do have their own achievement system, like Kirby Air Ride, Smash, Super Mario 3D World, technically, kind of. Not really, but you could earn stickers and different things. I can't remember what other games have done it. Actually, Fire Emblem Engage has an achievement system. And so did Three Hopes. So they could do something like that easily, and maybe there's just a little side mission, a little some menu in the option screen that's still just what ones you've achieved at some point, which ones you haven't, and you just kind of just have to hope that you get maybe there could be something where you could try and manipulate which missions will appear in the next game, and it'll cost you a few coins to try and get that to happen, some kind of a fortune teller character. It's I see your next missions are going to be to ram Daisingen off the track or something.
Merlin from Paper Mario, of course.
And and whoever that character is another one of the F-Zero racers, because why the fuck not?
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
PJ is pretty easily, clearly based off of the Crazy Taxi games, so we can have a Merlin character.
Totally. Have him ride a dragon-shaped F-Zero. I mean, why not? Or
Why
an
not?
Excalibur shaped one,
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Something medieval in nature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's a time displaced character.
Phoenix is. He's from the F-Zero's in the distant future, and he's from the distanter future.
Oh,
So, so yeah, why not? Yeah,
yeah.
he's a time space traveling cop.
I was thinking something just like it's pulled from the past into the future. One of a character like that.
That would be pretty interesting. They would flip the hell out and then become a fortune teller.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Yep. In a world where they forgot what fortune telling was, and they're like, oh,
Like, oh
make some
wow,
money out of it.
you can see
Yeah.
things in that crystal ball. I
Mm-hmm.
sure
Mm-hmm.
can. Meanwhile, they're just like,
Abs.
I found technology that these people don't know what to do with, and oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, I can be the biggest scam artist. We see you, Booster Gold. We see you.
That we do. That we do. What if you go have a sports management like mode?
Like what?
Where you like fantasy football almost, where you're betting on racers
Hmm.
to win
Okay.
races that you may or may not be a part of, or maybe you just see them unfurl, or not even. It's just like on a board,
Hmm.
like a board screen.
Brawl had
Um,
that.
mm-hmm.
Brawl had that as an online mode where you could spectate an online match, and well, they weren't
Oh,
live
true.
matches. It was very clear that these
Mm-hmm.
were recorded matches that it just kept some of because sometimes you could see the same match. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
odd. And you can
Yep.
bet on it. I think that mode came back in Smash 4, but I don't remember if it was in Ultimate or not.
Don't
But
think
yeah, I
it
mean, you
was.
could do something like that. That might be more
Yeah.
difficult to bet on a game that has like 40 different racers in one track. But,
Maybe subjugated to just the battle mode that you're talking about, the demolition derby. You have less.
true. That'd make more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. They get like 5 to 10 cars in there and call it a day.
Yeah, easily.
That would be pretty neat.
Or do have it be 8, so you can have like 8 friends all on different Joy-Cons.
Mm-hmm. That would be neat. It would be a natural way to expand the online. Which I think natural in the standard versus races.
Yeah.
I think maybe you could do a Grand Prix mode like that. I think Mario Kart does.
Yeah,
these
I
days.
mean, you could easily have 8 characters into a Grand Prix with the players, but they
Mhm.
would still probably be like you'd have the 32 other CPU racers, I mean, you could also just set up a mode that's just a player only Grand Prix. That's the versus mode. There's your versus
Mhm.
mode. It's not connected to like Grand Prix with the whole story mode conversion, but just like a
Mhm.
general versus Grand Prix. Yeah, easily.
Yeah, and I think other places where they can take from Mario Kart, besides like a mission structure or Smash with the potential spectator structure, they could, like Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart DS allow you to draw your decals onto your car.
Hmm.
You can maybe pull some graffiti. I mean, other than unlocking professional designs like new looks of paint for your vehicle, different costumes for your character, whatever aesthetically pleasing thing.
Yeah.
Maybe even other like parts, like maybe a certain muffler that enhances the speed of your car, or whatever. That could all be something that could be a part of like story mode unlockables.
Yeah.
Um,
And you can have like
Definitely.
these different modes could also be associated with certain characters. Like uh,
Mhm.
F-Zero, I don't know the characters for a lot of these characters, and I'm sure they could twist things up. But like you could say that Pico is like the guy that's in charge of the monster truck mode.
Mhm.
You could see he's in charge of that. Maybe Mighty Gazelle is an engineer or something. I don't know what Mighty Gazelle's thing is. But you could have like he's
Yeah.
the engineer character. You could introduce a new character who's a graffiti artist, and that's where you get to do like a little graffiti mode. And you can also play races him in the other mode. Why not?
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, just get down into like a graffiti portion. You can like draw ridiculous shit on your car if you wanted to. Take it
Mhm.
online. Would be fun. Make it like a team emblem to attach to your name, that you can custom design or choose from different
Online
pre-made
profile.
decals. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then for the story mode that you're proposing, it's kind of like an arcade style mode. I would imagine there's a
Yeah.
set amount of chapters. You're going
And
through like these corny cutscenes. Yeah.
and I was also thinking earlier, you don't even have to have the story mode for each character be about racing. Racing could just be like how you unlock the story. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily like that this other game did something similar to this. 'Cause I think it was bad considering previous games. But Dissidia Final Fantasy NT, the console Dissidia game, the story
Mm-hmm.
mode is unlocked just by playing versus matches. Just like you play X amount of versus matches or however it's set up, maybe you have to win some, I'm not sure. And you unlock the next cutscene in the story. And that could be kind of similar how
Yeah.
this is for the Grand Prix mode here. It's like, okay, PJ's story isn't about racing, it's about taxis. Because he's the
Mm-hmm.
crazy taxi guy. Kind of like Dribble and
Yeah.
Spits in WarioWare. And when you beat his section of Grand Prix, you get to the next part of his little taxi story. Maybe there's some, might be like a little connection to the racing thing or something. Who knows? But his story wouldn't necessarily be about him racing in the Grand Prix and trying to win it. It's him doing his fucking job in the world, and he's just like
Yeah.
a racer on
Yeah.
the side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like,
Maybe you can have what? Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, like, even Captain Falcon, like, yeah, he's an F-Zero racer, but he's also a bounty hunter. Like, he's not just an F-Zero pilot. He has a whole,
Yeah.
he has a fucking
Yeah.
job too.
His story is taking on F-Zero races for the purpose of capturing criminals.
Right.
Yep. Yep. Which is pretty cool. Pretty interesting premise. Um.
Daigoro's story is about trying to gain his father's approval.
Yes, it is.
Relatable.
Yes, it is. Dribble and Spits could make them a crossover character, except instead of Dribble and Spits, have it be Spits and Dribble, and have it be a giant buff cat and a really tiny dog.
That he just keeps in his pocket.
Yeah, that'd be partially disturbing. That seems to be F-Zero's MO anyway.
I mean, have you seen some of these characters?
Uh-huh.
Jesus.
Yep. 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 Mr. EAD is just scratching the surface, really.
Don Genie, Billy, Dysingen,
Mm-hmm.
arguably PJ, Octoman, Zoda.
Yeah, the primary antagonist of the F-Zero anime.
Drac.
Yep.
There's a lot of
Yeah, I
odd
love Guardians
characters.
of the Galaxy.
No, that's Drax. This is Drac.
Oh yeah, yeah.
DRAQ. I didn't even. So some of the characters when I was putting together the graphics for this episode, I was just like, I don't even know this character existed. Like, there's these two that kind of look like they're wooden dolls, and it's like, I didn't know you existed. Most of these characters, you know, I've seen their names and I've seen their pictures when doing other like Smash related things.
Yeah.
But them, Michael Chains, Baba, there's a couple of those that I'm looking at on here that I have the graphics, but I don't remember what their name was. There's a few others that are just like I don't know who this character was. Digiboy, I didn't know he was a thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh man, Michael Chain. Does he know Tetsuya Nomura? Perhaps.
Why?
Oh, those are Zippers. He has a son named Zipper.
Wait, does he?
He's... No.
Michael Chain? Okay. Because I would have believed
will.
that. I would have believed that.
Mhm,
Michael Chain having a son named
mhm.
Zipper. Yeah, I would have believed that.
Yep. He will in F-Zero
Oh.
DX.
Okay. All right. Very well.
Very well.
Yeah,
Very
Gomar
well.
and Shio. I didn't know who the fuck they were. I'd never seen those names before.
Mhm.
Lily Flyer. I didn't know about her.
Mhm.
Silver Nielsen. Jack Levin. Roger Buster. Princia Ramode. Baba. John Tanaka. I didn't know these character names. Dr. Clash. Like, I feel like, you know, like, I've seen them before when we've been doing other stuff, but some of these, I'm just like, wow. I didn't know.
Some
you
of them
were
are
a
really
thing.
some of them are really off the chain. Like Drac is
Chain?
ridiculous. Yeah, Michael Chain. PJ is ridiculous. There's so much. There's so much
Yeah.
F-Zero that's so silly.
It's wild.
It definitely is. What do you think about having like a little, like even like the Pac-Man arcade collection that came out, like the one with Pack Attack and whatever,
Mhm.
maybe in the last year, they have a little hub where you can walk 3D Pac-Man around a simulated arcade, and walk over to the machine and choose the game you want to play that way.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if in a story mode, not to be too ambitious,
Kind
not
of
to have
like
a
you're thinking
major-
like an Egopolis Plaza.
Yeah, have a hub. Have a hub that you can explore as a character, maybe even drive around it in your vehicle in certain areas. practice grounds, maybe.
I feel like if they did something like that, it'd be more like a top-down mode. It's like
Kind
a
of like
top,
GTA One.
not, yeah, honestly, like GTA 1, except like
hmm
no walking, just like in the vehicle.
hmm
And it's
hmm
basically like a
Well, that's where you.
glorified cursor.
hmm That's where you get. That's fine for the menuing, I guess. That's fine for the menuing, I guess.
Like
Yeah, it's
that's
like
the
a.
furthest I would take it personally.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, at least for the initial dabble, I don't think they need to go too into the extreme.
Right.
Just F-Zero seems to have always kind of been about pushing the boundary of what Nintendo can do, um, graphically, performance-wise. First F-Zero came out, it's an exhibition of Mode 7. It's like, holy cow, this is a 2D game, 2D graphics but in a 3D plane. This is incredible. Uh, F-Zero X brought in a track editor that was kind of crazy at the time. F-Zero GX was, holy cow, the Nintendo GameCube, where it lacks in graphical processing compared to the PS2 and Xbox. You have 40 racers on the screen at the same time going thousands of miles per hour. This is crazy. This is crazy. So what kind of innovation, I wonder, from a performance perspective, can they bring into F-Zero DX? What can they do that will make people... What's the tagline innovation for the racing component that makes people go, oh, wow, this is a new take on F-Zero that Nintendo is surprising us with in a good way. That's they might just be able to cheese it and say, oh, it's online.
I mean, yeah. I honestly, I
Yeah.
think I like I said before at the start of the whole discussion, I don't think they need to do something big. I think they just need to bring back F-Zero, and that would be big. That would be the big thing, personally.
Agreed. I think
Like if now if they were
Miyamoto.
if they
Yeah.
were doing another F-Zero like not long after the GameCube, then I can kind of understand they wanted to like do another thing, trying to like make it's like, well, here's why you play this one. But
Yeah.
considering how long it's been, 20 years, I think your big thing is just that it's back, baby.
Yeah.
You don't got to go
What's
any bigger
funny
than
is
that.
What's funny is they could have just upticked the resolution, slapped it on the Wii with some shoddy motion controls, and called it a day.
I mean, they did that for some games. They
Yeah,
did
they
that
did.
for Pikmin 1 and 2. They did it for Metroid Prime. I can't remember
Chibi
what else they did it
Robo.
for. Because they had their whole, like, what was it called? New Play Control, I think was what they were calling those games. It was basically just
Odd.
like, here's an
Tag.
upscaled game, and we've added motion controls to it. It's like, okay. That said,
Yes.
motion controls for Pikmin, well,
great.
not motion controls for Pikmin, but like the Wii pointer for Pikmin worked pretty good. Those were good. But
Yeah.
some of the other ones, I don't remember what those are the ones I recall. But
Yeah.
new play control. What all was there? Let's see here. Oh, there was not many. It was Prime 1 and 2, Pikmin 1 and 2, Mario Power Tennis, Chibi Robo, and Donkey Kong Jungle Beat.
I think that most of those games did actually benefit from the upgrade.
Everything,
So,
all of
at
them
least this
released in 2009, or yeah, all of them released in 2009 as well. Well, kind of. Jungle Beat was December 2008 for Japan. We actually didn't get Chibi Robo outside of Japan for that one. That's why it didn't sound familiar. And then, for some reason, Pikmin 2 in North America got delayed to 2012. But everything else was still 2009. So it's like, that's fucking weird. Why was Pikmin 2 delayed?
I have no idea. To the final year of the Wii's life as well.
Yeah. It was released under the Nintendo Selects banner instead of New Play Control.
That is bizarre, but okay.
Yeah. Like, okay. Weird.
I think an innovation enough might also be, like GX's primary critique from more casual gamers is, it's such a high bar entry. It's difficult to get through a race.
Yeah.
For the average player. Give us an easy mode. There you go. Make it more accessible.
And also another way to help keep it apart from Mario Kart, don't do power-ups. Don't do power-ups. Now, if you want to have like weaponry that you can obtain in the destruction mode, that makes sense to me. Sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But don't do power ups in the race.
Yeah, just do certain areas where you leap off of the track, and then there's like a bar, and then a hand extends out from the vehicle and grabs onto the bar, and you need to shake your Joy-Con to rev up the car and have a speed boost by flinging from off of the bar.
Where did that come from?
Excite bots.
Okay, I was gonna say like this is like sometimes you just spew random shit up, but also like he's referencing something here, and I don't know what it is.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
this
Yep.
was
Yep.
too. I don't know how I knew. I was just like, this is his normal bullshit. This is a reference. What is
This is
it?
too oddly specific. Excitebots would be another great game to bring back, but that's
Yeah.
an aside.
I mean, we've
Yep.
the Excite series. I mean, the Excite Trucks wasn't that one just like a kind of like additional Demolition Derby game too?
Yeah. The goal
And then
was to
died.
get first place, but it was like a big tech demo kind of. But I really enjoyed that game when it came out. It probably helped that it was a Wii launch title. But yeah, you boost off things. There was a really great sense of inertia where you're commanding these big vehicles, and yeah, you can crash people off the side of the road and get style points for it.
Hell yeah.
Really simple fun, really simple fun, and something that we're missing from out of racers these days, which have to be so specific and formulaic, like a Gran Turismo, or Project Cars. It has its place. Is not personally appealing to me. If we had more games like Cruisin' or Ridge Racer or F-Zero, or the new Hot Wheels game that was surprisingly good, that's more my speed for the non-kart racer type racer.
Racing games tend to come in a few different categories. There's your go-kart racers that will come with power-ups, you know, your Mario Kart, your Crash Team Racing, your Sonic All-Stars Transformed. There's your realistic racers with, you know, your Forzas and your other Forzas. I don't know any other realistic racing series. Then there's the racing games that have like Hub Worlds, which I guess that one's actually the Crash Bandicoot one as well. But then also Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong.
Yep. And Mario Kart is more like that, just like without a hub world, which I think is what Sonic All Stars Transformed is without a hub world. And the Chocobo Racing, I don't think has a hub world either. But then you have just like your racing games where you're trying to also murder your opponents, the high speed murder modes, which is your F-Zeros or are the arcade machines at Walmart.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there's Miyamoto has gone on record to say that there's not been an F-Zero sequel after GX because he feels that GX did all that F-Zero possibly can, and they don't need to resurrect F-Zero because it's done as much as they could for it. They've innovated it as far as they can, and there doesn't need to be another title. I don't know if that's PR lingo for just like, oh, it undersold or something because it was on the GameCube and we don't care.
It could be. I mean, I could genuinely believe that. And I could genuinely believe that Miyamoto himself doesn't think there's anything new that he can do with it. But that's also been 20 years. There's been new kind of racing games out there. There's definitely things you can do. Like, I can understand, like, maybe he had, like, F-Zero Burnout. And he was like, I don't really know what I would do that would be different enough for it to be worth it for me to work on it. So I want to work on my new passion project, Pikmin.
And you know, it's just one of those Miyamoto things. I love Miyamoto. He has curated most of my childhood, but there is the argument that in recent years his opinions have gotten a little off, such as with, again, most famously, Paper Mario. So, you know, that he's taken a step back and he's offering a supervisory role to like the Splatoon team, for instance, or even the team that made Super Mario Odyssey, the team that made Breath of the Wild, and he's taking a back role.
Masahiro Sakurai.
Yep. Do that. And also, just in general, I think that's where Miyamoto excels now. He's a great advisor. He has all that expertise in development. But the less you have, the more that you're just like, make Pikmin. That's your executive production role. You love Pikmin. Just do the Pikmin. Here you go. He can do that with Pikmin, and somehow it turns out great. and then all the other franchises benefit from him taking a back seat. To be honest. And that's what they can do with F-Zero. Contract it to freaking Sega again. They did a great job with GX. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. You know, Sega got to go fast. Or get Sakurai on it. Sakurai wants to do something other than Smash. Even though he's no longer really with Nintendo, so as
I mean, he hasn't been since
company.
Melee.
Yeah.
Oh, I think.
But he's made Smash repeatedly.
No, Kirby Air Ride. Kirby Air was the last thing he did with them, and then he left.
Yeah,
and
but
then
he's made
he went
Smash
on
repeatedly. They can't.
Yeah, and it's like
Kid
after
Icarus, yep.
after Air Ride, he was just like, okay, I'm gonna do a bunch of contracting now and go do consultant work. And then somebody's just like, hey, you want to make a falling block puzzle game for me? And Sakurai's just like,
yeah,
I no, but okay.
Yeah, he's like, I suck at puzzle games. I suck at puzzle games, but yeah, I'm gonna make a puzzle game. That was pretty funny.
Like, what if block fall and then go up? It's like revolutionary, genius. What if card go fast but then also slow?
Yeah.
We got slow mode, time travel mode now.
Make a.
You were asking what's a big new thing that they can push. I'm trying to think of how it would work. What if there's a time travel mode or some kind of time travel gimmick? I don't know how it would work, but that'd be something brand fucking new.
Yeah. Absolutely. Could be. And again, there's a couple characters in F-Zero that are canonically time travelers. Pull it into some sort of story and call it a day. I know we were trashing, loosely, like it's just not our thing before recording this episode. Rocket League. That's also a place you could take it for another potential
small
multiplayer
mini mode. Yeah.
Yeah, like not necessarily pushing around a giant ball. You could be cheeky with it. Be like F-Zero air hockey. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. And then just push around a giant puck. Make it loosely different.
It's a giant Deathborn.
There you go.
I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know. It had to be some kind of ball. It has to be. Otherwise, it just doesn't work.
That's fair.
If it's going to be a puck, it might as well be a top-down mode. But then if it's top-down mode, it's not Rocket League, it's table tennis.
You can include the weapons that you can use in the battle royale, wrecking crew mode that you're talking about.
Yeah. Get
those weapons in. It changes the way that you hit the ball, and you can also still crash into your opponent. So if you are knocked out of the race, that's an automatic win for the team. So there's other options other than just getting the highest score. You can also just destroy your opponent.
See, this is my answer to your question here. You asked what's the big thing that they can do, or how do you push limits? It's not by revolutionizing gameplay. It's giving more kinds of gameplay. It's going the multi-mode mini-game kind of route. It's what Kirby Superstar did. It's what Kirby's Air Ride did. That's what you do. You don't just have these big new mechanics of racing or go from 40 races to 100 or whatever other fucking nonsense. It's modes. You go mode crazy.
Yeah.
You kind of give all these different options. That's what you do. That's how you rebuild F-Zero. Give them different modes, new things to do.
You said have Sakurai be a producer or director of this game. Have him do like a trophy style mode, but like Super Smash 64 instead, where you get a profile of each racer. Maybe when you beat their story mode, and you can command them to do different flexes. Like Captain Falcon will come in and do "Show me your moves" and just pull in all the Smash memes into that little area, just for fun.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Why not? Why not? It'd be fun little extra little essence for the character bios that you'd have to toss in there because there's so many bizarre characters to choose from. Yeah, yeah, I agree though. Just have the core gameplay essentially remain the same because I think that someone like Miyamoto or any developer making that statement, there's nowhere else to bring the series. We've perfected it. We should stop. That is
That's a terrible
that's
mindset. That's a terrible
yeah,
mindset.
yeah.
Like I get,
That's
you don't want to like milk a series until people don't want it anymore and just release the same thing over and over again every year or two, just with
hmm
updated
hmm
guns and graphics and oh, now we're Black Ops, now we're Modern Warfare, now we're Black Ops again, now we're Modern Warfare again. Wait a minute, I'm describing Call of Duty.
Yep, yep, yep.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
You don't think at the time, it's like, hey, we've got all these other projects we're working on. We don't really have any new ideas for F Zero, so now we're not going to be working on it. I understand it, but it's been 20
Yeah.
years, and it's obvious
hmm
that the fans want it.
hmm
Why not give them something, even if it is, again, just a GX port?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking do it.
It would have been a more honorable statement, I think, coming from a movie director. If you made like for instance, I think
Alien,
the yeah,
Terminator.
Alien, very true. I think the first Joker movie was an incredible movie. There's a second one being made. Why?
Money.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I did not
Uh-huh.
see the first one, and I don't want to. I don't need
That's
to see
fair.
Joaquin Phoenix in his underpants. Thank you very much. I'm good.
Fair. 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 I think it's a really great movie, but that's besides the point. Uh Snyderverse also failed. DC is kind of in a rut.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
I
it is
hope
money.
James Gunn can pull
Yeah.
them out of it. I really do. I
hmm
want
hmm
DC to be able to succeed so that we can get
Me
good
too.
movies from both sides.
Yeah. Yes, please.
And then we can
And then
get
eventually
Justice
have
League versus Avengers.
as yep. Yep, same mindset. Same mindset. It happened in the comics. Let's just make it happen. Let's make it happen.
They've crossed over multiple times in the comics.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let's get
Yeah.
it going.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. But from a gaming perspective, I mean, again, it makes sense from like I made a really great movie, I wrote a really great book, it sold a ton, everybody likes it, it's critically acclaimed, 10 out of 10, whatever. We put the lid on the story, there's nowhere else to go with it. For a racing game, it makes sense within maybe a 5-year scope, and then you're on to the next generation where you could afford to release another one.
Wii's
Yeah.
motion controls. We used gamepad, having the second screen. These would have been
Yeah.
perfect
Yeah.
things to do F-Zero with. I was just like,
Absolutely.
meh, meh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a travesty.
Yeah, they could have done even some probably shitty modes that they would have tried because they're just Nintendo. Oh, you have the Wii U gamepad. We're gonna throw the wheel on the gamepad so you can either control it by moving the whole gamepad around, or honk on it, or you can use your finger or the stylus to move the wheel around on the screen. And
That's some Kid
why?
Icarus design right there.
Yep.
I'm sorry,
Yep.
Uprising,
Yep.
you're a great game. Your controls are not.
Yeah, remake it on the Switch, guys.
Please.
Remake it on the Switch. I would be very pleased if that were Sakurai's next project, even if it were just
I don't think it'll be his project. I think if they do it, it'll be some other team that does it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He'd probably, again, you would be wasting his resources if you were to do just a remake with him anyway.
They might like have him on to like, depending on who does it, they might have him like consult and ask him things about it, but I don't think he'll like be running the project.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I think that's fair. You go the Kirby / Mario Kart route with side modes and really spice it up. Really bring some interesting side modes in. But the core gameplay was perfected in GX. If anything, offer a sliding scale of difficulty. That way newcomers can play it, people who've played GX and to the bone and want something a little more difficult can play it.
Mario Kart has that. What is the CCs?
Yeah.
It's easy, normal, and hard.
Yep.
You don't know it. We didn't know it in the N64 games. We were just like, oh, wow, 150, because that's big number. We didn't know because we were dumb kids. But 50cc is easy, 100 is normal, 150 is hard. They can do the same fucking thing with F-Zero.
Yep, I know that now, so thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. 200, by the way, is very hard. In mirror mode is get fucked.
And 25 is where I'll be at in the next one.
All right, Grandpa.
That's what they call me.
Next, you're gonna learn drifting.
Grandpa Jojo. Yeah, and wave dashing. Another. And then I'm gonna flaw on my.
Put wave dashing in F-Zero. There you go.
There you go.
That's how we sell the money.
Put Mewtwo in F-Zero.
But it's a parody of U2, the band.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's a giant cat who's psychic and just says one love all the time. I'm
guessing that's a song that they have. I just know it's the name of a band.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know shit. Which just brings to mind, like, give us an F-Zero character who's like a boy band person or something. That'd be funny. We have all these like wacky characters like fucking Octoman and PJ and Pico. Give us just like a fucking weird ass boy band person or something.
Yeah,
why not?
You can lean into it. Lean into like Harry Styles already dresses like an F-Zero character half the time. Put him in the game.
Lady Gaga.
Oh God.
You want to talk about dressing like an F-Zero racer? There you go.
Yeah, go get Meat Queen dress Lady Gaga and just insert her straight into the game.
Meatloaf.
It would be a great tribute. It would be a great tribute. Simon Belmont.
My mind went to Simon Cowell.
That would be the most devastatingly wrong F-Zero character.
You said Belmont, and I did not think of Belmont. I heard it. I registered it, but my mind said Simon Cowell? All right.
Just have a procession of angry British people. Him, Gordon Ramsay,
Piers Morgan.
Yeah. Oh, God.
You said angry British people.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones I know.
It fits the bill. I loathe. All of them are pretty bad. I loathe Piers Morgan, though. God. He's the one that lets the character...
Gordon Ramsay's not bad.
No.
Gordon Ramsay's putting on an act.
Quite a bit. He's funny online now.
Yeah.
He is really... He's pretty funny.
Like, the thing I've said with him is he says, like, yeah, of course I'm fucking nice to children. They're fucking children. I'm mean to the adults because they say they know what they're doing and they clearly don't. It's like, fair enough. I hear you.
A chef F-Zero character with an animal controlling their every movement under their hat.
I think Octoman should be a sushi chef. I want that.
Cannibalism.
I want Octoman to be the sushi chef. I mean, in Monsters, Inc., the octopus is the guy running the sushi.
Yep.
It's not a new idea.
Roz in F-Zero.
Who? Oh, that Roz.
Yeah.
I heard Roz, my mind went to Maz Kanata. It's like, that's not right. That's not... He's not talking about Star Wars.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. You thought of Simon Cowell and you thought of his wife.
What? What? No.
Imagine those two just... Mwah, mwah.
No.
How interesting that would be.
No,
the man that gets vitamin
I'm gonna
C
end this episode if you don't get off that
every
topic.
day, and then Maz Kanata.
Fuck. All right. Speaking of things, though, I'm about tapped. I don't know about you, but I've had the ideas that I've had. Put Jonno in F-Zero. That's my
Hmm.
last idea that I had. That was it. That was my final one. Give us, extend the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. We've got the Super Mario Brothers movie. The second movie is going to be F-Zero.
You know what? If Super Mario Brothers movie, I predict that'll be a hit. I mean, it looks very good. It looks very good. I'm very surprised that Illumination was able to pull off. It looks like a passion project for the directors and Miyamoto to have come together and pack in a Super Mario Brothers Super Show reference and all of these other things. You can tell they care. At the very least, they care about the content that they're making with this movie, even
It,
if the VA is, you know.
if there's one thing, like as much shit as we give Miyamoto, Miyamoto
Hmm.
really does care about Mario, the character, being represented as he should be. He puts a
Hmm.
lot of care into that. That's the main reason why, like, even though we saw, like, oh, it's Illumination, oh, it's Chris Pratt, Miyamoto being more or less oversight on the whole thing, it does actually give me faith in it. It
I
does.
flat out, I think that there's people on Illumination that are obviously passionate about Mario, but Miyamoto being the advisor has saved the movie.
Yeah, they're not going to
Hmm.
do a Nightmare Sonic.
Hmm. The first time, if that were all a
Keith.
marketing campaign, kudos to them.
Yeah,
But
honestly.
hmm
But
but
we're,
if
we're gonna
not,
find out in 10
okay.
years when the
Thank you for
NDA
listening, guys.
ends
Hmm.
up getting like it runs out or something, and sometimes be like,
Hmm.
yeah, that was actually a really well done marketing campaign, and the internet fell for it hook, line, and sinker. I'm just like, well, fucking done, you got us.
And we made
But
the Grinch League as well. Yeah. So I have faith in that, and if that goes the right way, there is a world where they can turn that into a Smash Brothers universe if they wanted to.
if they want to, if Mario goes well, I mean, I think they've already said they're doing a Donkey Kong movie, or at least that's been like rumored that we're gonna get a Donkey Kong movie after this with
Yeah,
Seth
yeah,
Rogen. And if those are balloons, like we probably will get Zelda, we probably will get Metroid. Whether it will all combine into a Smash Brothers Avengers like thing, I don't know. I don't think they'll go that route, but I
it's
think they
difficult
will
because
do like
yeah,
disconnected Nintendo
yeah,
franchise movies,
yeah,
like
yeah,
a,
yeah.
the MCU but without the U.
Right, right. I could see Illumination doing Mario, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, Kirby, but it's harder to see them doing Zelda or Metroid.
I mean,
Metroid, yeah.
they could ship it out to different companies,
Hmm. And yeah, that's where it serves the MC part of the MCU, because if it's disconnected in that sense, it's not going to happen.
or
Which is
Nintendo could
which is fair.
even make their own like little side company, Nintendo Pictures, kind of like you
Hmm.
have the
Hmm.
Marvel Studios.
Hmm. I think Zelda would benefit from being in maybe a hand-drawn anime approach, or Metroid, same thing, or it could actually even be a live action. I
Yeah.
think that would be really, really great. Um, yeah, but an F-Zero movie, if Nintendo goes along and they make Mario and Metroid and Zelda, and they're looking for the next thing, and somebody says, I want to make a movie starring Captain Falcon, they might actually go for it. That might be the area where you
Yeah.
can start to have the resurrection.
I doubt it'd be
Um,
something that they come up with themselves. They have to somebody would have to come to them and pitch it to them. I think is what it would end up
mhm,
being
mhm,
happening.
mhm. They've done some wacky shit in the past, at the very least. Like,
Yeah.
who knew Mario and Rabbids would be a thing? Yeah.
Starlink,
Uh-huh.
Mario and Rabbids, Cadence of Hyrule.
So they are open for it. You got to give them credit where it's due. They are still a corporation. There's a lot of dumb shit they do, especially concerning like fan games and fan art and how they approach that. And not just mention the virtual console on SO. That's a dead horse beaten. Uh, but give them credit where credit's due. They have expanded their like indie relationships and have allowed a lot of new things that they wouldn't have 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So at least there's that. From the movie place, I think they're really excited from Miyamoto's comments, to have a new money printing machine. So while that's raw, somebody can sneak in there and be like, yeah, F-Zero. And be like, oh, okay.
I mean, we've got Super Mario Land. Let's get Nintendo Land. They have an F-Zero collision course in there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Mm-hmm.
go.
A live action F-Zero starring Chris Pratt as Captain Falcon.
No, it's gonna be Vin Diesel, and it's gonna all be about family.
That's a funny reference. That would be even worse than Chris Pratt.
Yep, it would be.
Be like, The Rock is looking for work. Oh my god. Um,
He's gonna be Black. No, he's gonna be Blood Falcon. Is The Rock?
okay, that's fair. um, but I think that looping it up and wrapping this in a bow, it's F-Zero with extra gameplay modes.
Yeah.
And that's where the innovation and kind of the weird shit comes into play, where you're throwing things at a wall. You got the demolition derby, variations of battle mode and achievements and unlockables and different stuff from that area. But the core gameplay is generally the same.
Yeah.
With difficulty shifts, because it's been so long, people just want it.
Yeah.
What they've been missing.
You have your main Grand Prix and versus modes, which are your standard F-Zero gameplay. Then you got all little small stuff. You got your demolition derby. You got like a little top-down racer. You've got, I forget some of the other things, some of the other wacky shit we talked about. Your Rocket League mode. Just throw all these different things in there.
Mario Kart has lived forever and has got by doing less to innovate itself.
Yeah. It's like, sure, Double Dash mechanic was pretty cool. And then motorcycles was the big thing for the Wii. It's like, all right, that one's... Like, they want to act like they're innovating everything. I'm sorry, motorcycles is not innovation. And Double Dash, you can't really argue the innovation when you don't bring it back. Like, I'll give them credit for the underwater areas of tracks in Mario Kart 7 coming back in Mario Kart 8, and then they add the anti-grav on top of that. I give that credit. But if the next game doesn't have those things, it's like, okay, why are you making such a big deal out of it then? And also flight. And 7 added flight, too. They added flight and the water. I forgot about that.
At its core, I mean, the core gameplay is still the same.
Yeah.
It's ultimately the same. You go around a map, you hit people with items, bada bing, bada boom.
Yep.
It's not this... It's being innovated upon, but it's at the same time, it's not this grand innovation that they move the goalposts for F-Zero to excuse not having another one.
Yep.
So just make an F-Zero, have some innovation in the side modes, make the core gameplay what people want, call it a day. Turns out it's easy to resurrect F-Zero.
Yeah.
Come in soft with the GX remaster. People buy it. Whoa. Sequel. Done. Paper Mario.
Deal.
Come in soft with the 1,000-Year Door remake. Boom. Sequel.
Do it. Give
and
us
Gino's
and
there.
Package in Luigi's Quest.
Yeah.
With all of his little partners in this little mode.
Oh my god.
It's Paper Mario the 1,000-Year Door plus Luigi's Quest. If they can do it for Superstar Saga.
I want to see him fry that blooper for real, guys.
Yes.
Captain Falcon too. He can fry a blooper. He can fry
in
off
the next Paper Mario game, we'll have a partner where it's a Rocky wrench and a Gotcha wrench as a 2-in-1 partner character. And there'll be
the new
I forgot what I named. They're named Rocky and Gotcha because fuck having a stupid name.
That's pretty entertaining. And Mer Lovely will be replaced by Captain Falcon, and will appear randomly at times to stat boost your character or give you more experience or coins. And when he does, he'll just pop in and be like, "Hua!"
Show me your coins.
Yep. And then the enemies will shell up for Mario. It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
Have Captain Falcon be the new Koopa Coot and just give Mario bounty hunting missions.
Jesus.
It's like, thank you for beating that Goomba. Here's a coin.
1,000-Year Door does have the request board.
Super Mario RPG does have Link and Samus.
And the Blue Falcon.
Oh yeah. That's right. See, toss in a little cheeky reference. Why don't you?
Yes.
Kind of like the coffee shop in Superstar Saga.
Custom. Have your normal mode where you're like you're viewing outside the car, but then have another viewpoint where you can where you're driving. Like viewpoint is like inside of the cockpit, and you can customize what's in there, so you can have a little Geno doll hanging from the top of your car.
Yeah, that would be entertaining. And then bring in stickers to put on your car, just
No,
like
no,
in
we already got graffiti. We already got graffiti.
Oh yeah, right. That's more F-Zero's lane anyway. Graffiti time. I'm gonna draw a sticker.
All right, let's wrap things up here at this point. We've gone the full 2 hours on F-Zero.
Mm-hmm.
The what's the word? The verdict. The verdict is bring it back with a fuck ton of modes and you got money. That's what we say.
Diluting it further, it's just do it.
Just do it.
Just fucking do it.
Just do it. God.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Anyways,
don't let our dreams be dreams.
Yes. Next time on Supercast Brothers, it's Smashtopia or making a new character. And I will give you a clue. It's going to be the second time we've ever made a character with painting as a theme.
Salute the sun.
Oh, woo.